Hello, welcome back to the Hannibal TV. Coming to you with a Skywatcher update. There's been a episode 2, or as you can see on the screen, they call it part 2. I want to give you a simpleton's analysis. Simple man, simple mind, small brain analysis. I think that there is a lot, I know there's a lot of content coming out right now. And if you get one thing from this video, if you're watching this, I want people to realize that you can be critical, you can critique, you can be skeptical, and you can do it respectfully. That's what I will attempt to do here. I will say that I enjoyed the first episode of Skywatcher. For those of you that don't know what Skywatcher is, this is attached to Jake Barber. Jake Barber was the individual who did the interview with Ross Coulthart. I believe it was in January. He was a helicopter pilot in the military that retrieved an egg-shaped UAP, or a UA. Well, it wasn't in flight. An egg-shaped object that was very large with his helicopter, and he's now part of this Skywatcher team that they say they have the ability to go out and use people who have these mental capabilities. They're called psionics. I'm trying to think of the simpleton way of putting that, but they have these abilities to use their extrasensory capabilities to be able to call these objects in so that we can photograph them and see them. They claim to have them on staff, and what they do is they go out in the middle of these deserts, and they send out their mental cues to the beyond, and they try to get them to react and to come into Earth. That's a simple way I know to put psionics. If there's a more scholarly way to put psionics or what they're doing, I'm all ears. But that may be another podcast for you or a different channel. What we're looking at here, though, is so they did the first episode, which I enjoyed because you had Ross's interview followed up with the egg UFO video, which was in part 1 from Skywatcher, where they kind of show more of the egg UFO stuff. So I enjoyed that. This one, I didn't enjoy as much, and I'll show you why. I have to admit, and you can tell me in the comments if I've missed something. That's fine. I'm not perfect. I have this is my hobby. I do this on my lunchtime or after work. So I'm a full-time dad, a full-time employee, a full-time student. I'm full-time everything. So if I miss something in this video, because I may have jumped around a little bit, you can tell me. But they start this video with showing you these classification of objects. We've all heard of the Tic Tac, the egg now from Jake's interview with Ross Coulthart earlier in the year. And the jellyfish was released by Jeremy Corbell, a year or two ago. And obviously the triangle is something that we hear about a lot, but I wanted to give some analysis on this. There's 3 main parts of this video that really, I don't like it. I don't like where they went here, and I'll tell you why, and I'll give you my reasoning. And hey, if you disagree, that's fine, but they're the ones putting out the content. If you put out the content, just like I'm putting out this content here, you can disagree with me and say that my analysis is shit, and that's fine. I mean, that's not very respectful, but I'm not going to call them shit. I don't think they're shit. I think Skywatcher is actually trying to do a good job, and they're trying to bring a different angle of, instead of just sitting around storytelling, they're trying to get out in the field and show you actionable evidence. You got to credit them for that. Doesn't mean I can't be skeptical of what I'm seeing. Keep in mind, I'm flesh and blood. I'm a human. When I see something in the sky and they show it to me, I'm going to have a human response initially. So that's what you'll see here. But anyways, so we see here the video of the objects that they're seeing. Now, it brings me to, they go through this long analysis where Merrick, he is one of the reporters. You normally see Merrick, this guy here, doing debates with Mick West. He did one recently on Jesse Michaels' channel with Mick West. They're always arguing over the initial Tic Tac video and Go Fast video and all these other videos. So you can go watch that. It's pretty fun to watch. Kudos to Jesse for bringing two different sides together and letting them hash it out respectfully. I think they were respectful in that video, and that's what this is about. So let's go down here to the very first one that they show. And it's this.
More black. Frankly, the reflections look like chrome almost color.
Look into these. Look into these.
So they're seeing this object.
1,000 feet above us, about maybe 1 kilometer out, horizontal distance above the ground.
So he just said 4,000 feet above them.
Total in distance.
Guys, gals, that looks like a party balloon. I'm sorry. Don't get mad at me. It's a chromy looking like reflective thing there with something like a string or something hanging from it.
I've seen some the last couple days.
I mean, I'm trying here, people. I'm trying, but it looks like a party balloon. Like, I mean, I feel like that quote from Sandlot, like, you're killing me, Smalls. It's like, I really want to believe this stuff and do my best here, but like, I see that and it's like a kite that's blown away or a balloon. Now, to credit them, initially I thought, okay, if this is really far away, like 20, 30,000 feet in altitude, that string is not going to show up, right? Even at 4,000 feet in altitude, I guess we can debate, would whatever was tying down, if this is a balloon, a big party balloon, whatever was tying it down, can it still reflect and be seen at 4,000 feet in altitude? Because that's what he just said in the video, at 4,000 feet. 3,500 or 35,000 feet, you probably would barely even see the balloon. If it is a balloon. I don't know what this thing is. We'll get in that in a minute. But whatever is hanging off of it here, I mean, it just, the way that the object is moving,
last couple days through a sensor,
it's flailing about,
so it wasn't like,
bobbing
oh,
about.
You know, kind of taken back to be like, oh wow.
I mean, it screams
really
balloon to
one,
me.
You know, with my actual visual eyes. Right here, right above me at 4,000 feet.
And
like a jumper under canopy.
you watch it and it just is kind of, it's in the wind current. And I mean, look at that there. So here's my thing. This is where you have to ask the question. At 4,000 feet in altitude, do you think you would be able to see something that looks that large hanging from the balloon? So if we're going to say it's a party balloon that was, accidentally released, which happens every day, I just don't know if the thing, unless they tied it down with something really like more of a banner or something, I guess it's possible, right? But my thing here is when you see the movement of it, it's flailing around in the wind. It doesn't seem to have any intelligent control. It just looks to be just flailing in the wind.
Yeah,
so
stuff, there it is. It's the same thing that I've been.
That's my problem with that one.
Alien movie where it's like the tail
see it
out, like it's seeking something, and sometimes it looks
right there. It looks like the tail, actually, what was hanging from it got higher than the balloon for a minute.
We have seen these take direct.
So watch the bottom of the thing here in a second, and you'll see it kind of like the thing that's hanging off of it goes higher than the top. Again, that's something that's kind of happens right there. That's something that kind of happens with balloons too, right? Sometimes the balloon takes a weird turn and it goes upside down.
It seems to undulate as it moves. We have seen these.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that one. The other two, we can watch the rest of this one here. See that? Look at it, kind of blowing. Sometimes the line that's hanging off of it blows up much higher. It just looks like a balloon caught in wind currents.
There aren't a lot of exotic colors. There is reflectivity. But that color you see right there is very akin to the class 6 when it's not emitting high energy or whatever it's doing. So when it's not vibrating.
Yeah.
So we don't know what that means. And you can kind of start to see now the tentacles hanging down as it moves.
Now listen here.
In IR, they're very obvious. They're less
He's getting
obvious
ready to
than
say
the-
something
So
that
we have
infuriates
multiple
me.
indications that this is a real object, that is not man-made, and that it is.
So he just said something that really bothers me. I don't know who this guy is right here. I know Merrick. That's Merrick. I don't know. I didn't back it up to figure out this guy's name. I guess he's part of the Skywatcher crew. He just said it's not man-made. That bothers me because he has no damn clue what this thing is in the sky. But he's making a definitive statement that it's not man-made. That bothers me. Why say that? Why say that when you don't know? If he had it in hand and can show us his autopsy, if you will, of this object, of taking it apart and showing it to us and showing us that it's not man-made, okay. The dude is 4,000 feet away from it, catching it on blurry photo. Okay, you don't even have high resolution on this thing, and you're trying to tell us that you're definitive that it's not man-made. That's don't do that. Whoever you are, this guy right here, don't do that. You're hurting the Skywatcher cause because you're trying to make a definitive claim of something that you don't know definitively. You have nothing but a TV screen sitting here that you're looking at, a blurry thing on a monitor that's showing some reflection and it's flailing around in the wind. Okay. Now, if you want to say it's based on a culmination of all types of data that we've gathered back, okay, but it's still all aerial type data that you've gathered, but you still have no clue. You have no clue. I'll say one more time. Go look it up. In the 40s, Japan released balloon bombs. It's on the Air Force's website. Okay? Go Google Japanese balloon bombs if you don't believe me. They released, it was thousands of them, and they came over the Pacific. Some of them made it onto the mainland. Some of them floated as far as the Midwest. This is documented on the Air Force's website. Balloon bombs. One family was picnicking, or a group of people was picnicking in Oregon and tried to drag one of these balloon bombs out of the woods in the 40s. This was before Roswell. Tried to drag one out, and it killed all of them. I believe it was 6 of them that were killed. This is all documented. Not making it up. They found one of these balloon bombs. I've heard a claim that we got the idea to do these reconnaissance balloons from Japan, and that's what we were building in Roswell, and that's what crashed. That was a story I was told. I don't know if that's true or not, but I do know it's true about the Japanese balloon bombs because it's documented on the Air Force's website, and there were fatalities of a group of picnickers trying to drag one out of the woods in Oregon, and it blew up. You don't know what it is. That's my point. If it's up there, you don't know if another country has flown something again in the sky and you're just picking it up. You have no clue. You don't know if it's a weather instrumentation that got floated by a local university. You have no clue because you did not get hands on it, sir. So do not say that. This is the one time where it really gets under my skin, this video. All the rest of it, I'll be straightforward with you on what I'm seeing, and you can react in the comments and tell me if you agree or not, but don't do that. Don't say that this is definitively, it's not man-made. You don't know that. And when you say that, it adds a certain level of you're trying to prove something that you can't prove yet. Like you have a hypothesis and you've already proven the hypothesis without even doing any of the effort to prove it. So I just, that part right there really got, I'm sorry, y'all. I know I went on a rant there, but that really got on my nerves when he said that. Okay. The other 2 big ones in here, the Tic Tac, right? My problem with the Tic Tac one, they only give you a little bit of data, and it looks like just in free fall. And they even say it was descending rapidly. See, it looks like it's just kind of floating around in the sky.
Part of it, like a cryothermite, is bendable and it bends.
And at this point, is it dropping rapidly?
Listen, dropping.
The only thing that's changing is the angle that we're looking at it with.
The
Okay.
elevation angle.
He just admitted it's dropping
And so it's
rapidly.
moving in a downward fashion. The system operator is having a very hard time.
Downward
because it's
fashion.
falling so fast.
Dropping fast.
So you can't
Dropping
zoom in.
fast.
Our servos don't move that fast, so our equipment can't handle that zoom factor with the speed. You'll see multiple UAPs. And
So what was the speed? That's my question.
Flying together. I don't know that they're in a
You're
formation.
telling me
If you go frame
the
by frame,
speed
you
of the
see
capture,
7
5% speed, 15% speed of where you closed or showed the capture of how slowed down the video was. 800 feet
We
elevation.
sent the helo out to intercept the Tic Tac, but the first attempt failed because our radar was being jammed by the.
So they went to try to go get it with the helicopter, and they're saying their radar was jammed and they couldn't go get it. Terminal velocity, people. If you didn't watch Mythbusters and learn about terminal velocity, I'll read it to you. The AI response from Google, right? The maximum speed an object achieves while falling through a fluid like air, where the force of gravity equals the force of drag, resulting in a zero acceleration and a constant speed. So what does that mean? So for example, when we were in school, right, you went out, you dropped the bowling ball, the tennis ball, and you tried to see which one would hit the ground first, because maybe they have different drag based on coating. You know, a tennis ball is coated in a fur and the bowling ball isn't. Will they hit the ground at the same time? Do they have the same terminal velocity? AI says here in the AI response, a skydiver belly down has a terminal velocity of 120 miles an hour. A baseball has a terminal velocity of around 74 miles an hour. I'm sure mass and all that has something to do with it. I don't know. Not a scientist. All I'm saying, or a physicist or whatever this would be, physics. My point here is they just admitted the Tic Tac was in free fall. They just said it several times. Or not free fall, but rapid descent. So if you have an item that's in rapid descent, you know, if that's what's going on here, give us the terminal velocity. What was the mile per hour of its drop? What was the speed of its drop? If it is maintaining 80 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour, and that's not fluctuating and it's falling at the same rate, then that's indicative of just an item falling. The item fell from somewhere. Maybe it fell off an aircraft. Who knows? But, you know, it could just be something falling to the ground. And that's my point here is I would love to know the terminal velocity, because if it has the same speed and it was falling at the same speed, that's going to prove there was no acceleration, right? Again, terminal velocity, force of gravity equals the force of drag, resulting in zero acceleration. If it had reached its terminal velocity, there is no acceleration. It's not getting faster. It's not getting slower. It's reached its terminal velocity. It's falling at the same speed, the same consistent speed.
Blades are turning.
So
But it would not go.
Next, and we'll come back to one more thing, and I'm going to make a final point on this here in a second, because at the end of that right there, they said they tried to go intercept and they couldn't because it jammed their radar. Okay. I will say this also. That is a common claim that's made in a lot of these videos. If you ever watch like ghost hunters and they go in a room and some scary shit's going down, and right before they record it, their cameras go dead. The ghost drained my battery. I know I'm being a little bit of an ass on that one, but it's true. Like a lot of these phenomenon type situations, you know, we couldn't record it because it jammed our radar. We couldn't record it because it drained our battery. We couldn't, you know, and it's like, I mean, some of this is the same production stuff we've seen before in other phenomenon videos. So if I'm going to tell Skywatcher something, I want to say just leave that out. At the same time, it may be plausible. They may be telling the truth, that it did jam their radar. I guess it is possible. I don't know. Again, I'm only human, people. It's just when I hear that, I'm comparing it to all the other phenomenon videos I watch on like ghosts and all this other stuff, and even Skinwalker Ranch stuff. They'll say, "Oh, well, we saw something over there, and when we went to go try to look at it, it jammed." They'll pull out their cell phone, and their cell phone's glitching. And I don't know. Maybe that's all true. Maybe ghosts do drain your battery. Maybe aliens do interfere with your radar. Maybe skinwalkers do mess up your iPhone. I don't know, but it's a common thread, and you have to decide if you want to believe that or not. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's get into this final one here. The manta. The manta is probably my most problematic one. This freaking manta just looks like a piece of metal that's been thrown out of a plane, and it is in free fall. It is flailing around.
It has round everywhere. I don't think there's anything straight or nearly straight. We actually went frame by
Watch
frame
it with
on
me here.
slowly and derived a 3D model of what we think it looks like. Here you can see it.
So they're showing, see it?
Comes through.
It's just tumbling.
Said this is going perpendicular to the wind and faster.
Yes, it was on radar. It was on imagery.
And we know it's going straight down because they show you here in a minute.
It was vibrating as well. The same
There's a plane that goes by behind it in the contrail. There it goes. There goes the plane's contrail, and it goes down across the contrail. Look at it just flailing around. Like imagine somebody in a helicopter or an airplane, and they just throw a big hunk of metal or something out, and they just let it go into free fall. I have the same thing here. I want to know the terminal velocity. What is the speed? What is the speed of this fallen object? Was it maintaining the same speed, proving thus that it was not accelerating or showing any intelligent flight? It was just falling.
In fact, how many things that we still don't know?
And that's how they kind of end it. So, I mean, I see something that looks like a party balloon. Get mad at me if you want. I'm sorry. A big round chrome thing with like a stringy thing hanging off the bottom of it. My human abilities just go into overdrive on that, and there's nothing I can do about it. Okay. That first one looks like a balloon. Second one, the Tic Tac, definitely Tic Tac shape. I'll give them that. But it's in rapid descent, or is it rapidly falling? Speed would have told us that. If they would have said, pulled up, don't tell me you clocked it at 500 miles an hour. Show me the device that's pointed at the object, that's locked onto it, that's saying 500 miles an hour. And let's talk. Otherwise, that could easily just have been a falling object. Who knows? Maybe a piece of one of Elon's satellites was coming down. Hell if we know. How many times have we seen pieces of Elon's shit coming down out of the sky this year? Yeah, right. The manta, same thing. Is that just a piece of space trash that entered orbit and it's in free fall? I don't know. And I don't know how they enter orbit, people. I mean, is it supposed to always enter looking like a transformer coming in, like where they come in like in rapid fire and smoke hanging off of them? Maybe. Okay. Then maybe that's not space trash, right? Again, this is a simple-minded person's review. Not all of us have, a physics degree or some scientific background or something like that. I'm just telling you. And there's all kinds of planes and things like that up in the sky. So how do we not know that something came off of a plane? How many plane mishaps have we seen this year of shit flying off planes and everything else? You got to work with a Skywatcher. Look, I'm not going to trash you guys because, again, you guys are the ones actually out there doing something different. Skywatcher is trying to do something different in the space, and I have to applaud them for that. First video, part 1, loved it. I thought that was actually really good information. All that on the egg. This one, it's just a little rough for me. And maybe the production quality will get better as far as sharing some of your data in that aspect. Share the data of the speed of the object. If you say, well, we don't have any instrumentation that can lock onto that object to get speed, how can we get that? Here's my last thing I'll say. The very first video. Let's go back here. They said that this bad boy was at 4,000 feet.
Seen on sensor.
Okay.
And all the characteristics, were consistent with what a class 7 should look like.
Let's see if we can find it again here.
4,000 feet.
Right there. He just said it. 4,000 feet. So this thing, the one that I say looks like a party balloon with a string hanging off of it. You got a helicopter. You were going to use a helicopter to intercept the Tic Tac. Why? If it was at 4,000 feet, where was the helicopter that day? Now, here's where I will admit error. I didn't want, if I missed that part in this broadcast, tell me in the comments. I'll happily, okay, my bad. Maybe they said the helicopter wasn't available that day. We wanted to chase it, but the helicopter wasn't available. If they say that in the video, my bad. If they don't, and this thing was at 4,000 feet, why didn't you hop in the helicopter and go up there and take some pictures of it and interact with it? That's all I'm saying. If they ever get that close to you, I understand the ones where you're like, this was a high altitude item, it was up 40,000 feet. I don't know what the altitude is for like that helicopter that Jake was in. I imagine it can't go as high as obviously a commercial jetliner at like 30,000+ feet. But, I'm pretty sure helicopters can do 4,000 feet because they go over my house at like 3,000, 2,500, 3,000 feet. So even if he could get within 1,000 feet of it, he's going to get better pictures than being on ground at 0. So next time, if it's that close, if it's within that 3,000 to 4,000 foot range, go up in the helicopter. Go take a picture of it, right? Let's disprove that this is a party balloon. Let's throw that out by saying, aha, you party balloon people. We took the helicopter up and we got a picture of it. Really close. Really close. And here, look at this extremely good detail of the item, and you can see it is not a party balloon. That's all I'm saying. So that's my analysis of it. I try to be respectful. The only area where I got close to the line of disrespect, and even then I don't think it was disrespect, was the dude on here saying that this object was not man-made. That still gets under my skin. Don't do that. Please don't do that because you don't know. Okay. You got to leave the door open to possibilities. I'm sure when all those Japanese balloons were floating over in the 40s, people weren't for sure what those were either. Okay. I had never seen anything like that in the sky. I'm pretty sure there hadn't been a lot of balloon bombs in the sky, but yeah. So there you have it. There's my analysis. Go look up the story too on the Japanese balloon bombs. A lot of people don't know that. I think that's very important to recognize the history of that, since we had a couple years ago all those balloons that came over us. I think we still need to press Congress on what those were. Tell us the ones that were shot down. We know the one that was shot down off Myrtle was supposedly a Chinese spy balloon. What about the other shoot downs? What were those objects? They won't tell us. Were they more balloon bombs? It's happened before. Happened in the 40s from the Japanese, according to the Air Force. So I think or if you go on the Air Force's website, you can Google Japan's response to Doolittle. I think that's the title of the article on the Air Force's website where they talk about the Japanese balloon bombs. So again, there can be some crazy stuff in the sky, stuff that you would never even thought of. Do you think people in the 40s, if you told your grandpa or great grandpa in the 40s, hey, Pops, do you know Japan has thousands of balloon bombs up in the sky? They would call you crazy. There ain't nothing like that up there. There was, and it killed people when they tried to drag it out of the woods. You don't know. That's a big ass sky. You don't always know what's in it. So don't call it not man-made when you have no proof. Okay. So there's my reaction. Keep tuned in here on the Hannibal TV. We'll keep you covered on some of these new insights that come out. There's going to be a new video tomorrow. Big one. Greer, Dr. Greer is on with Jesse Michaels. They recorded the interview here recently and they're putting it out tomorrow. There's supposed to be fireworks in that interview. Looking very forward to that. Looking more forward to that than this. And I'm not trying to slight Skywatcher, but that's pretty big. We've been asking Jesse on social media, or at least I have. I've been asking Jesse Michaels, quit treating this guy like Voldemort, Dr. Greer. Say his name. Why? He's part of the community. Just get over it. He's part of the community. It doesn't matter if you don't agree with him or not. It does not matter if you think he's a grifter. It does not matter if you think CE5 is bullshit. It doesn't matter. He's part of the community, whether we like it or not. Talk to him. Okay. Jesse's had people on his podcast before that I'm not a big fan of them. I'm not going to tell you who, but maybe I will eventually. But he's had some people on where I don't like them. I've been in spaces with them and I do not like them, but I respect them. I respect their opinions, but I reserve the ability to not like them. So why can't he have Dr. Greer on? I'm here nor there on Dr. Greer. I think he has some good things that he does, and he has some things where I just kind of like, I'm like, the same thing here with Skywatcher. Some content's good, some content isn't, and I feel the same way about Dr. Greer. So maybe we'll do a recap of that, but keep tuned in here, and thanks everybody for watching.